Our native NetSuite Advanced Vendor Onboarding allows for a streamlined process when onboarding vendors. The only three fields the user will need to enter: a company name, a contact email address, and then a primary subsidiary. All the other fields and data points we want to collect, we're going to put that responsibility on the vendor to supply via a vendor onboarding form. And to start that, we'll hit that send form button. And then from that screen, we'll be selecting which form we're sending out to the vendor. So you would have the ability to have multiple forms based on location, based on subsidiary, or based on type of vendor here. And we'll send out a form that'll look something like this. So they would have the opportunity to enter their company name, their phone number, with all of these fields being totally customizable. So we can add fields, we can remove fields, we can make fields mandatory. You notice we do have an attachment field here for W-9s, but we aren't limited to one attachment field. We can add a COI field, a bank letter field, a voided check field as well. Really, the only limitation to this form is that there has to be a corresponding field on the vendor record we can map their responses to. So really, this could look like however you would want it to look like. And then we also do have the ability to collect banking information as well, which can map to our payment automation solution, native NetSuite, as well as other bank plugins as well. So the vendor would receive this form and then submit it back right within your NetSuite environment. So they'll fill this out, submit it. Then this reminder here is keeping tracks of forms I have to review that of vendors that have submitted that form. All right. So I'm going to go over here to 8 vendors pending review. I got my test office supply company. So I am going to look at that vendor. Click on the Forms tab. And then from this screen here, I can view the responses that they sent into the system here. So on the right side of the screen, we're going to have what's currently in the system. On the left side of the screen, we're going to have those vendor responses. So in the background, we have a setting that says if the field is blank, just accept whatever the vendor responds with. But if they respond with something different than what we have in the system, highlight that in red. And as you can see, their company name, they responded with an LLC at the end of their company name. So we do want to update that for payment purposes, for 1099 purposes as well. All right. So what the system will do, it'll highlight that field, letting you know that value was updated based on the vendor response. And if we do want additional information, we could always hit request more information. We can check off the field that we want them to fill out. So maybe we want that tax ID number. So we can check off that tax ID number field. We can enter a message, hit send form again, and then the vendor would receive the form for a second time, where the only field they could update would be the tax ID number field. Now, not only with new vendors, this is also great for existing vendors. So let's say we needed that updated W-9. We could also check off that W-9 box and say, please send updated W-9, hit send form button. And then the only thing they could be able to do is update that W-9 with that W-9 attachment there. I'm going to hit the save button and tell the system I have everything I need here. And then with our solution, we do have the ability to send out auto reminders. So maybe you give your vendors 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. And then after that, we can then send an auto reminder, letting them know that we need them to fill out that form in order to process payments for the vendor, as well as process our 1099s as well here. And then after hitting complete onboarding, you would have the opportunity to add an approval process on top of the vendor onboarding. But as of now, the vendor has been fully onboarded. And with that approval process that we can add on top, a great thing we can do, we can say, unless the vendor has been fully approved, let's make that vendor inactive so users can't start creating payments and bills with the vendor until we know that it has been reviewed. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Charted team and we'll respond most promptly. Thanks again.